Hi, Instagram. Hello, hello. Oops. Hi, everybody. I'm gonna watch myself. Here I am. I'm gonna turn this down too. Okay. Happy Sunday to you if you're watching this on a Sunday. If you're catching us any other day of the week, I hope you're having a great week. So, here's what's happening today. I have flowers. Look at these cute little petunias. So it's Sunday, and I'm in the studio today. Sorry, I'm super close to the camera, but I'll tell you why in a bit. Um, I am cleaning out the cooler today because before I went to set up the wedding yesterday, I figured that I saw that my um, cooling unit had frozen, so we had to unplug it and it melted everywhere. So now I have to go clean that. So it's also time to clean some buckets of flowers from a couple of weeks that have been in there for a while. And then I started seeing all these flowers that were still looking really, really good. And I wanted to put something together for you. But what I was going to do first was this color scheme here. I was all ready for some like raspberry tones and some dark reds with like a hint of purple in it. But as I kept walking around, I saw more and more of these. We're gonna call them sunset tones. So I changed it on a whim, and this is what we're gonna do today. So I have a bucket over there that I'm getting really inspired by, and then these petunias were from a couple of weekends ago, from a wedding that we did, and I have a ton left, so I figured I would use these. So the reason I'm super close to the camera was because the last time we did a video, everyone kept saying that they couldn't hear me because the phone was like way over there, so you could see like everything that I was doing. So today you're gonna be super close to me, and if you can't hear me, I'm literally all set up today. So YouTube is going, so this video will be up on our page on YouTube once I'm done. I'm watching myself here, so if you want to ask questions, I can see as we go through this process. And we're going to leave it for 24 hours on Instagram as well. So we should be all set. There is one fear though, and I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. So right now I'm just trimming all the ugly bits from the petunias while I talk and introduce what I'm doing. If you want to go tell your friends that we're live, I have a couple more stems here to clean, so that will give them time to join us. And if they want to ask any questions while I am live, totally fine. And then Instagram always cuts us off at an hour-long video, so I kind of have to rush after I'm done here. So um, anyway, so these petunias were, I think this is how it started because I went out in the garden to cut some stuff to do the video, and then I saw these and I changed my mind. But they were for a wedding 3 weeks ago maybe, but I bought them in April and planted them. If my music is too loud and you can't hear me, let me know. But I bought them in April and planted in crates because I knew we were gonna need them for an July wedding. So we grew them in crates for this whole time, and they did just fine. They didn't really vine as much as I thought they were going to, so which was fine because the centerpieces were pretty short. So, but they worked out well, and then we pretty much cut the whole thing, and then now they've bounced back again, so we can cut again. And they are surprisingly long-lasting as a cut flower. My friend Antonio from Canada, Antonio Valente, he's apparently trialing some cut flower varieties of petunias, and they're growing upright, which I thought was pretty witchcrafty. So I can't wait to see what he finds out from his trials, because that would be pretty exciting to have these as cuts. Yeah, so that's that. So here's the fear that I have today on live TV is that sometimes you get vases from your brides. I'm speaking to the florist now. Sometimes you get vases from your bride, or sometimes you order vases online and then you get them and you're like, oh my god, how's this gonna hold water? Well, this is the deal with this bowl. So this bowl does not hold water at all. It's from Accent Decor, and it's clay. So I still want to use it because I love how low it is. It's about 3 inches. I still want to use it. So what I'm gonna do is line it first. And this is the part that my fear is that this whole thing is gonna crumble on live TV, but we're gonna go for it because that would be real life, right? So I have this green plastic that I got from my friend Rochelle. She's out in Vermont now, and I don't know what it's called, Rochelle. If you are watching this, if you could let us know, that would be awesome. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to line this first, and this is pretty much plastic, and it's floral plastic something. And I'm pretty sure this was used, like, I can see this being really popular in the 80s. But it's great because it's plastic on one side and green, so wish me luck. So the way that I would do this, I would just kind of I just need a little bit to help hold the water. So first of all, I'm gonna put this right here. And she actually came out here last year to help us with the wedding and then talked about this. So we're gonna give it a try. Okay. Or if anyone knows the name of this, it's pretty handy. So I would line it like that, and I hope everyone can see that. And I'm just gonna cut the edges, because we don't really need that. So it should be thick enough that the chicken wire won't poke through it. So that's how it looks. God, I'm so scared. It's gonna be fine, right? Everything is fine. So that's how it looks. It's just a little insert. You could probably use one of those plastic liners that they use for like setas or just for the garden center. So now when I'm putting this chicken wire in, I want to make sure that all the pokey sides are not facing the plastic. I want to make sure that they're facing out. So it's just like a nice smooth edge facing on the plastic to prevent it from ripping. So I'm just going to throw this in here. And that's that. So now I'm going to use Oasis tape. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch one because I really want to make sure that this stays secure. So to do this, you really have to make sure that your the sides of your bowl are dry. So this will just kind of help hold the chicken wire in. And really press it against the side of the bowl. Oh my god, can you imagine if this thing just collapses? But it could happen, you know, if you're doing a wedding and you order these bowls and then all of a sudden this is what you have to deal with, like the week of the wedding, and you don't have time to reorder anything else. So just to give it extra support, I'm gonna go all the way around. Got it. All right, so that's our structure. I don't think at this point that I would be worried about the tape showing, more that I would be worried about the chicken wire staying in there and holding the florals in. So if some chicken wire or if some tape show at the bottom, great. People will see it and they can get over it. Okay, so let's add some water. And no, I do not use bottled water for my vases. I just have this jug here. And some water will leak, I guarantee you that, through like some of the plastic. But it's gonna be a lot less than it would without the plastic. All right. You guys ready? What's an epic music? This is the Interstellar soundtrack, and that's literally the only thing I listen to at this point. Okay, and it's on Spotify. Hello. All right, so I'm going to start. So this is gonna be pretty pastel-y, very light colors with like maybe like a hint of orange, if that. So I'm gonna use some greens that are really pretty to go with that. This is probably like if you wanted to use Dusty Miller for this, you could. I probably won't. This is Mountain Mint. Really gonna use the chicken wire to give me a lot of support here. And things are gonna move around in the beginning, and that's totally fine. If you are using, I always say this, if you are using a Lazy Susan, use the edge or the grain of the wood to tell you, like if you're doing a long piece, to tell you what's front and what's the other front. And if you're doing a round piece, you use the grain of the wood to tell you, you know, put some flowers here, turn it 90 degrees, put some flowers here, turn another 90. So you're consistently adding pieces to make your centerpiece round. Okay. Where is everyone from today? Where is everybody watching from? I might just make this with a front, because we only have an hour, so I really want to maximize that time. I probably won't be going around. In fact, let me just take this off. Let's just stay there. I feel it should go that way, fine. Oh my god, hang on. South Africa. Hi, Charlotte. Charlotte, by the way, has one of the most beautiful feeds I've ever seen on Instagram. You guys should go follow her. She's in Denmark. Martha's Vineyard. Hello. Kansas. We're in Kansas. See how things move? This is the thing about using chicken wire versus foam. If I put these stems like this, if I put the stems in foam, they just stay. But if you use chicken wire, things will move around. So you kind of, I learned that from Gabriella. Like you kind of have to use your brain to think about how you can keep things to stay. Brasil, Brasil. Tô chegando no Brasil em setembro, hein? This is just a little bit of scented geranium. Hi from Chile and Lebanon. Guess I'm from far away today. So pretty much everything that I'm using today, except for the garden roses, everything came from our field. So we have garden roses, we have dahlias, and straw flower, and zinnias. Argentina, Russia, New Zealand. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, I'm just gonna do a little bit more of this mountain mint. And there's this vine that grows on everything here that I'm not a very big fan of. See that? Okay. All right. So we're gonna start with the dahlias. Nope, let's start with garden roses. So this is garden roses that were also left over from a couple of weeks ago. Actually, last week. From a very special arrangement that we made for a client for her birthday. This is Romantic Antique. And this is from South America, I believe, but I know that you can get this because I just had to order something with another order that I had. But I know that you can get this from Peter Court in Oregon. They grow some beautiful roses. Somebody asked me something about cages, the pillows and the egg. I have seen them. I have not touched them yet, so I haven't used them. But I've heard people raving about them, so I can't wait to try them. But I have not tried them myself. So, and what the cage is it's a plastic. As far as I know, it's a biodegradable plastic that Holly Chapel developed, and it's supposed to be like helpful when you're making bouquets. Like I have pretty big hands, so I can hold an entire bouquet in my hand. But I know like Katie from Ponderosa and Thyme, she'll tape each stem, not each, like a couple of stems. She'll tape them as she goes. But what the pillow does is it's pretty much like a ball of chicken wire, but she made it into like a nice, easy to snap on plastic. It's like two pieces, you snap them together. And you just feed the stems through it, and it holds the bouquet for you, so you can make a large scale bouquet. But like I said, I haven't tried it yet. So, yeah, it's supposed to be pretty helpful. Look at that, isn't that pretty? This is one of my favorite songs in this entire soundtrack. It's called Light of Seven. And if you are a Game of Thrones fan, you probably recognize it. It's from their soundtrack. So I'm keeping these pretty short, I guess. Because I want them to add color, but I don't want them to be like the center of attention because that's gonna be the dahlias. So I'm just pulling these old petals out. And if you're working with garden roses, you really have to time when you get them because they're not very long-lived. So if you're doing a wedding on Saturday, like these garden roses, the way that we work with them is we get them on Tuesday and we leave them in hydrating solution all day and we go about our day doing whatever we need to do. And then before we leave, we move them to number 3. We use Chrysal solutions. So use number 3 and then let them open overnight and then move them back to number 2, which is the holding solution. And that has seemed to work pretty great for us. So they hydrate, they take up a lot of flower food, then they open, and then they just kind of stay at that open stage for a while, and then they'll keep opening up throughout the weekend, throughout the week. But then I know that by Saturday or by Friday when I'm making bouquets and using these, they're gonna be at their perfect open stage. Okay. So we have these dahlias. This is called Wine-Eyed Jill, and they're pretty amazing. So let's add these. And the colors vary a little bit, so which is great. So this is a pretty short stem because again, this is not super deep. So just gonna like tuck it in there. Just to kind of drive your eye in there. These buds, like you can use these as like accents, but don't throw them away because you can also use them in boutonnieres and corsages. See, and they kind of all have that. So it's nice to use like flowers in different opening stages. It kind of makes the arrangement look more natural. Oh, there's a spider. You see that? Hi. Where do you want to go? No, you can't go in there right now. For some reason, spiders don't freak me out. Unless it's a big one, then I'll be honest and say yes, they freak me out. I'm gonna add this back here. Okay, I feel like I missed a little bit of the conversation here. Eu sou de São Paulo, morei em Ubá, Minas Gerais, morei em Belo Horizonte, agora eu tô aqui. Somebody asked me where I'm from in Brazil. Add this like here. So I'm adding this here between these two. So this one is way tucked in there. This one is kind of coming out. One up here. So as you're doing a centerpiece like this, or whatever arrangement, whatever you want to call it, just keep watching where things are going and how it's growing. You know, like right now I have this line here that I can already tell I don't really like very much. So I want to add something tall here and something tall here, so it kind of creates a nice shape. And it's also like pretty empty here, and I can actually watch myself there. It's pretty empty here. Oh, just one second. I know the Instagram people can't see it because of the comments, right? Oh my God, hang on, I already broke this thing today. I want to move it down. So you might see some trash, but you're gonna see the arrangement a lot easier. Hang on. Is that better? I think that might be better, because then you can see it without the comments. All right, I think that's better, right? I hope so. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep adding more dahlias. There can never be enough dahlias. So as you can see, it's a table on top of another table here. That's the setup today. Okay. The dahlias are Arlene, the dahlias are from my garden. They're finally finally blooming. It was a painful early summer. Okay, just one more. Okay. All right, so next, let's do some zinnias. That smells good. Okay, so these zinnias are called Queen Red Lime. And we wait for them every freaking year because they're so pretty. And there are other queen or other zinnias in the lime series. There's a Queen Red Lime, a green, a blush, and an orange. And we grew a little bit of the orange this year, but I really wish we had grown a lot more because it's so gorgeous. It would have been perfect for this. Okay, again, like I'm gonna tuck this one in way back in there. Something like that. Oh. Okay. Hello from Tokyo. Arlachi. Okay. So this goes here. For the people on the YouTube channel, if you don't know, I have Instagram going on this phone, you're going on this phone, and I'm watching myself here, so that's how this conversation is happening. Okay, I have a question. How many of you are floral designers? Or how many of you are farmers? Oops, what's going on here? How many of you are farmers who do weddings? Hi, Sue. How many of you grow some of your own flowers? It's so weird that I'm doing this arrangement like from this angle, but you guys are seeing it from that angle. So I have to keep that in mind. I'm a photographer, floral designer. So here's an idea that I had. And you guys tell me if it would be a good idea to follow through or not. And I probably will do it anyway, because I really think it's important. So I was thinking that maybe, and just maybe, we could do a Facebook group. And I have a name for it, but I'm not gonna say it yet because I think it might be a little too cheesy. But we could do a Facebook group where instead of going live, well, I would still go live on Instagram, but I could also go live in the Facebook group, and that Facebook group would be geared mostly. I mean, if you want to join for whatever reason, that's fine, but it would be geared mostly towards talking about the business of floral design. So like we could do a video. If this guy is like broken, again, don't freak out. You can cut it like here. Did I just cut the broken piece? No, it's right there. And you can just kind of tuck it in there. It'll be fine. guarantee you. But we could do a Facebook group just for design, and we could talk about like how this happened from, growing your own dahlias, your zinnias, where to source them from, how much this would cost, replacements, or let's say you don't have Wine-Eye Jill variety, like what would you replace it with? Or if you don't have, say your wholesaler called and said, I don't have romantic antique garden roses, what else could I sub it for? And we can talk about this um, as a conversation piece as far as moving forward and applying this to your realities. And that is another thing that I've always wanted to do, is have a conversation about, I've done so many big weddings, so many small weddings. There's just so many kinks we've had to work out, that you guys would bring your situation, and we could talk about how to solve the issues that you have. So if you have a difficult bride, or if you have a bride that just has a very small budget but wants the world, and how do you handle that? Or how do you handle, if you're just starting and you have no idea where to source anything from, like where do I get tape from? Or, like from the very basic to the more advanced level of design. I feel like any conversation that you have is an opportunity to learn something new. So I feel like that could be a good place for us to do that. And then, I could go live like once a week or twice a month or something like that, where we can work out a schedule. But then, if you email me questions about, hey, I have a bride that she loves hydrangeas, but she's getting married in Texas in the middle of July on an outdoor wedding. Like, how do I handle that? Probably no hydrangeas on her arch, thank you. So that's the whole idea behind the group. It would be to just be able to share and have a place that you can go to, because I know when I started, there were just so many questions that no one answered because I couldn't find the answer. So that's my proposition for the day. Okay, I'm gonna keep going tone on tone here. This is straw flower that we also grew. So again, like if you want to take these little bits out, these would be great for corsage and veneer, especially straw flower, because they just last forever. Stuff up here. That's fine that it's in front of the dahlia a little bit. I don't think that would matter. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I added a couple of leaves of the geranium in the middle, because I really don't like when it looks like just foliage on the outside and just flowers on the inside. Even if we have a couple more here that we could add, just to kind of bring some of that green in. Something like that. Okay, so that was my sales pitch. I have to read the answer now. And we can talk about growing your own flowers too. Like I said, if you have small space, big space. I really wanted to make sure that this stays focused on design. It's not going to be a flower farming group. I guarantee you that there's more than enough coverage, or I'm just not the person to cover that. I can tell you how we grow our flowers, but it wouldn't be a flower farming focused group. It would be a full design focused group. Hang on, I'm gonna get in front of the camera. Okay, so there is a line here from this stem. We're gonna need to cover that somehow. Okay. What else? What else is being said? Yes, Arlene, it's very, there's a lot in the background that happens. Okay, so I feel like this is like really like lush and full, and we kind of need to add some little bits now. And I'm gonna add so I'm gonna add this phlox, because the phlox has like some of this, I guess you can, hope you can see it, has some of those like ivory colors that are on the outside of these petals, but then it also has some of that dark burgundy that's like in these petals and those petals. So it kind of brings everything together a little bit. And then these are just gonna be like little bits and pieces here and there. And if there's any like spent pieces, you can just trim those off. Something like that. So when I started floral design, I had zero experience with anything design-wise. I started doing flowers for a coffee shop, and the owner, who eventually became one of my good friends, she gave me a budget, said this is my weekly budget, and I'd love to have fresh flowers. And that's how I learned. I just learned by doing it, but looking back, there were just, especially, so that job was, it had its own set of challenges in its own, because it wasn't weddings. You know, the flowers needed to last 7 days, and I learned a lot from just doing that. But when it came time to translate that to weddings, that was a very painful process, because it was not the same. Nothing was the same except for the fact that I was working with flowers. The way we dealt with flowers, the way we approached design, everything had to change. And that was, like I said, it was painful because there was no, I mean, that was 7 years ago. There wasn't as much information as there is now. So, and I still don't know that there is that much information for people that are starting. But if you want to like talk about how to hang something from a ceiling where there's nothing to hang it from, or you know, how do you put a proposal together? How do you calculate how many flowers you're gonna need? You know, that kind of stuff. Okay, that's pretty much it for phlox. See how it kind of just like pop, 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 pop. It just adds a little bit of interest. I'm considering adding these, but I think they're too. I don't need another big bloom. I need smaller blooms. But first, let's add our petunias in. This has a nice line to it. And it definitely wants to go that way, like if I put it over here, obviously, or even if I do this. Although I could put that here. just something there. I don't know if this will stay. That could be cute. Maybe. We'll try it. So I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna take this one up. Let's add this one. It's pretty sticky. Anytime you're adding a stem that you can't quite see where it's going, really just make sure that it's in water. I cannot tell you how many times we've added a stem and it was like sticking out on the side of the vase, or it just wasn't in water. Okay, sorry I'm not reading your comments. Green screen video. I wish I could do this. I can't arrange flowers to save my life. I can't arrange flowers to save my life. I couldn't arrange flowers either. But eventually you kind of get a hang of it. But the learning process also never really ends. This looks terrible here. Okay, and a big one here. Okay, I think this is it for petunias. I'll probably add one more here. Okay. Is the knife better than scissors for your flower work? I don't know if it's better, but if you've noticed, like I've only put my knife down a few times, so to me it's a matter of efficiency so much, not as much as what's better, because I just keep the knife in my hand the whole time, instead of like putting the scissors down, picking them up, putting them down, picking them up. I've been really timing my centerpiece making, and I'm kind of down to an average of 10 minutes per centerpiece now. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm not putting the knife down. Okay. The only other thing I'm going to add to this is there's two more things I'm going to add. Number one, black scabiosas that we also grew, which is going to take this arrangement to a very different place because nothing here is dark except for like the center of some of these dahlias, but I really think it needs a little bit more contrast. And I might take a picture with it without the black. And when you're using black flowers or dark flowers, never add, well, I shouldn't say never, but just watch, because sometimes when you add flowers, like dark flowers to the middle, it creates a visually weird spot in your arrangement where it's already dark in there because all the flowers on the outside are shading the inside. So when you add black, first, it's not seen, and two, it just creates a weird, so like if you're gonna add flowers, then make sure that they're light, so you bring light to the dark. Okay, I don't know how much time I've been here, so I gotta hurry up. Victoria Mann, this, arrangement will be live. You have to watch the beginning to know what I did. So it'll be live on my YouTube channel, and which is the Flower Hat. You should go subscribe. We haven't posted a whole lot of videos there, mostly because wedding season has been so busy. But we're gonna try to once it kind of winds down a little bit. How long these flowers could stay fresh that way? A lot of the stuff was just harvested. Like if these garden roses weren't so old, they were probably, we got them last Tuesday. No, we got them last Thursday, so they're about 10 days old now in the cooler. I would say this could last about 4 to 5 days. Dahlias they're not super long-lived. Love those black flowers. What did you say the name of them were? They're called scabiosas, so we call them little scabs. I know it's terrible. So if you know, or if you notice, like from the beginning, we added a dahlia all the way in the back, and then a dahlia, a zinnia here to this area here. And from your angle, you can't see them anymore. But if this was like if you were sitting at this table as a guest, you would be able to see them. So it's really important that you add those pieces in there. Make sure it's in water. Black Knight, yes. Okay, one more thing I'm gonna add here. And then I'm gonna go clean my cooler. And then I might come back, because I can tell we also have a lot of yellow. There's some yellow dahlias I want to use and a lot of purple. So the last thing I'm gonna add is probably the best thing of all, with one exception. This is coriander. So it's cilantro after it's bloomed, and it has these cute little seed pods on it. And I found this, I got it from a farm called Kokoro, but then I also found it growing wild in one of the plots we have, probably from the person that was there before me. But it just adds a little wisp to your arrangement. However, it smells really, really strong of cilantro, so I don't think I would add this to a wedding centerpiece. Unless it's like a taco theme centerpiece. Then totally go for it. See how it just adds a little fun? If you want to stay there, sure. Yes, the video will be on Instagram later, so y'all can watch it and rewatch it. And I might come back later, like I said, with yellows and purples. And whites and browns too, so who knows, maybe I'll be here almost all day. Well, I have to work. Oh God, this smells strong. Like so strong. But hey, I'm gonna keep adding. All right, do you guys have any questions about anything else that we've talked about? We are still coming up with a whole line of workshops for next year. My goal, I don't want to jinx it by talking about it too soon, but my goal is to have a ranunculus and anemones workshop in June, a peony workshop in late June, and then a summer workshop and a dahlia workshop. And those are going to be 2 days workshops, and we're going to talk about a lot of floral design, some farming and business, and put things together. All right, and as soon as I'm done here, the lighting is still really good. I'm gonna take a photo of this and put it on Instagram. How's it looking? I kind of like it. See, like I put that there, but I don't like these two, so this one has to come out. Okay, I think I'm done. The only other thing that I could possibly add to this is, like if I had to, would be some like maybe some red scabiosas. But I just really like the contrast of these, except that now I'm looking at it, I don't think this can be here. Because it was like a weird line here. Kind of just want them all in one place. I don't know, maybe I don't like them. Let's stick them out. Hang on, I'm not done yet. I'm gonna take them out for 1 second. That's part of the design process, is figuring out what works best. But if we did some, let's do chocolate cosmos instead. Yeah. This is also from our farm. They're very velvety. If you can see that. Okay guys, I think that's it. Just gonna keep adding these. Like I said, I'll make sure that this stays live on Instagram. Okay, that is all for me. So wish me luck cleaning the cooler today. So that won't, I like that. But see, like now I feel like we need one more here. Can we move one of these around? No, I'm gonna go cut one more and just put one more here. I think it needs it. Alright, that's all for me. Like I said, this is gonna stay live, so it's gonna stay on Instagram. So yeah, if you have questions about it, send me an email or send me a DM. I'll check all of our DMs. It may take a little bit to get back to you because we get so many, but I will respond. Yeah, that's that. Thank you guys for watching. I might come back later, so stay tuned. All right, bye everybody.